Marwan Muhammad is the director of the campaign against Islamophobia in France. Good to speak to you, Marwan. So I assume it is a bit early to talk about Islamophobia, but how do you see the results for now? Macron is in the lead, but he's not a very known character. Can the Muslim community really rely on him?
Well, Muslim communities in France have learned better than to trust blindly any candidate in a presidential election. And also, we need to take into account that although Emmanuel Macron is the frontrunner for the presidential election, 15 million people have voted either for the far right or for the extremely conservative candidate, whether it be Marine Le Pen or François Fillon. And this is unprecedented in France, such high level for far right ideologies which are targeting specifically migrants, suburbs and Muslim communities.
And Muslims are, as you said, a minority in France. So how much of an influence, or do they have any say at all in these elections?
There is no such thing in France as a Muslim vote. They are so diverse sociologically and ideologically that they do not vote in the same direction. But there is indeed an anti-Muslim vote. There is indeed an Islamophobic vote, which has been capitalized by a number of candidates, whether it be the far right or even François Fillon. So now people are looking at the stances of the two candidates for the second round of the elections. But the problem is not so much who is going to win the election in the next coming weeks. Hopefully it will not be Marine Le Pen. Rather, it is the political context in which we are still able to construct a Muslim problem. I need to remind you that over the last 5 years, this has been a socialist president in power, and that's him who put in place the state of emergency and took measures that were deliberately stigmatizing Muslim communities. And that is a problem.
Okay, coming to unemployment, which is a big issue for Muslim minority in France, are you expecting any changes? What is the political vision of Macron?
Macron's political vision is fairly liberal, including at the economic level. Unfortunately, so far, for the last 5 years, they have been unsuccessful at reducing significantly the rocketing unemployment rates. I'd like to make a point is that unemployment is not correlated with these are two components that are totally different. So the idea that solving unemployment is going to solve the rise of the far right in France and in Western Europe is not really true in essence. We need to address both issues separately.
And now, as it's more likely Macron is going to be the next president of the Republic, are you still expecting a growing role to be played by the National Front in the future?
They are already a structuring force in the political game in France, and their biggest victory, their highest victory, is not to win election, but to win the political agenda. For the last 30 years in France, they have been setting the agenda, whether it be immigration, identity, being anti-system, Islam, and the stigmatization of Muslim communities. They have been asking the question, and mainstream parties felt that they had to answer the question. But these debates are toxic, and that's why time and again they win more influence in the political game, and that in and of itself is the central problem in our system in France today.
That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us here on TRT World. Marwan Muhammad, the director of the campaign against Islamophobia in France.